Hello, chat. We're going to be talking about Argentina today. A country that I never thought I would talk about, and to be honest, I do not know much about the politics of Argentina, except the fact that they used to be rich. Too low. Much better. They used to be rich, chat. One of the wealthiest nations, and they had this thing of self-inflicting poverty that a lot of nations are having right now. And I want to show you something. I'm probably going to make a video on my main channel about this. And I'll probably play this later as well in the same stream when more people join. But I wanna show you something, right? Look at this. Look at this. You can't give shit leftards an inch. Can you define shit leftists? This is, have you guys played Magic the Gathering? Have you played Blue? It's like Counterspell. You know? You shift some mana, and it's like Counterspell. Can you define? But what do you mean? What are you talking about? Can you define? And if you can't define it, means that what you're talking about is nonsense. But fortunately, El Presidente has the definition. All collectivists. Mr. Metokur is rolling in his bed right now. It's like, what do you mean collectivist? What do you mean, like a collective? Like, he even defines what collectivist is. Look at the skill. I love his facial expression. It's like, why do you think they are shit? Because they are shit. It's like, it's self-evident. Like, what else do you want me to talk about? It's like asking someone, why do you need oxygen? Because you need oxygen to live. It's like, This is what a collectivist is, right? Like, this is the ideology. It's fascism. Nothing outside the state, nothing against the state, everything within the state. Like, this is how we think. You're either with us or against us. If you're against us, any tactic is acceptable. There is nothing that we wouldn't justify to do against people that are against us. Being against us means disagreeing with the definition of a woman. J.K. Rowling style. That's what collectivists are. I mean, do you guys not see them on Twitter? Do you not know? And, of course, you know, you can say that this is a little bit exaggerated. That they kill you if you're against them. I have never seen a person that does something politically incorrect that the righteous people, the decent members of our society wouldn't justify if someone did something bad to them. What I mean by this is, like, what do they want, right? Like, they want you out of a job. They want your bank account to be shut down, like they were cheating when it happened to Nigel Farage. They want your social media to be terminated so you can't defend yourself. They are happy if you don't get an education. They consider education to be a human right, but if you don't get admitted to a university, they're cheering because of that. If you get expelled from school, they're cheering because of that. They literally want you to die in a ditch. Preferably away from their sensibilities. Like somewhere on a dark alley where no one wants to see you. They're bad people. They're bad people. Do you know when Thunderfoot father passed away? They were cheering because of that. Literally, last week, Anna, that Star Wars girl, she makes reviews about Marvel movies and Disney shit. Like, that's what she does. She's on the internet and does reviews, right? They immediately brought up her sister. In glee. Out of happiness. Her sister passed away. Yeah, it's hard to disagree with this man. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's exaggerating. No, I definitely think, like there is a difference between wanting someone to have bad things happening to them and actually being able to do it. Many of them would want to, which is great that they don't have power.
ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea? A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
porque son una mierda. O sea,
vos
si,
mezclás-
no,
pero
pero
eso-
es que
eso
si
es
pensás,
pero
si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo tomas para destrozarte. Es decir,
Look at her face. Look how angry she is. Look how angry she is because she doesn't have any more rhetorics against him. She's like, oh shit. I can't debunk this.
usa, digo, o sea, vos no podés negociar con el zurdo. No se negocia. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar puesto. Y como estamos siendo tan mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente.
Look at his eyebrows. Look at his eyebrows. Like how he does it.
Cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos mejores en todo. Y
Oh my god, she is absolutely livid. Look at her face. Oh my god. Jesus.
en todo.
Like if my wife looks at me like this, I know I'm in trouble. I know that I'm not sleeping in the bed tonight. Is the couch for me?
Les duele,
Triggers.
con las herramientas legítimas, se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado, poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda. Y aún así no pueden, tuvieron que bajar la nota. ¿Me entendés? Que están perdiendo la batalla cultural. Los zurdos de mierda por primera vez se ven acorralados.
So you may wonder who is that gentleman, right? Like whose bitch this is, as they asked within the fighting game community. He's the president of Argentina, chat. He is the Argentinian president. Let the socialized helicopter rides commence. He's not a Pinochet though. Like, here's the thing. Everyone on the right is being associated with Trump. Like, they keep saying, oh, it's the Argentinian Trump. The Argentinian Trump. No, he's got different political ideology. The man is an anarcho-capitalist. Like, he has the flag, the one with black and yellow, or orange. Like, he's an anarcho-capitalist. He literally believes that the government shouldn't exist. And he won the election. Oh, Dios mío. Let me see if I can find, like there's another famous video with him. Where he basically goes against the government. He's very entertaining to watch. I'll give you that. Like he's got like the AOC vibe, you know, where she starts waving her hands and she's angry. He does that as well, but he's on our side, I guess. So it's weird to see because usually people on the right, they dress in suits and they try to be presentable. Not this guy though. No, this gentleman is again like the right-wing version of AOC when it comes to mannerisms. I'm trying to find the thing, but oh my god, don't tell me I didn't save it. Yeah, I don't think I saved it, chat. But he basically has like, if anyone can send this to me, I would appreciate it. He's basically looking at a whiteboard, and he has like all the ministry names on it, and he's like, La Ministerio de Cultura, out! La Ministerio de Equitabilitate between mujeres, and out! And he's like just going and ripping away all of the ministries. It is absolutely hilarious. I'm trying to find the thing though. Ah, here we go. I found it. The afuera. Oh, it doesn't have sound though. But you get to see it, right? It's basically the ministry of whatever, out. The ministry of sensibility and whatever, out. He even goes like the Ministry of Public Education. The indoctrination camps, Out. Counting the ministers. Oh my god, the man is hilarious. Afuera. This is our Che Guevara. We need t-shirts and posters. Yes, unironically. I think he's a Scott Adams fan as well. Hold on, I think I may have gotten the videos. Let me see. No. Ah, here we go. Yeah. Thank you, Abdi. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is excellent. This is my favorite. I mean, is he fucking wrong though? Is he fucking wrong? If your country is starving, if the people are struggling to put food on the table, you have a Ministry of Sports? You have a fucking Ministry of Sports? And tourism. I mean, maybe tourism is needed. Like, you get some money from tourism. But is Argentina really a place on, you know, like on the top 5 traveling lists in order to justify the spending? This actually was a problem in Brazil. Like in Brazil, they spent tens of millions of dollars to build a stadium, and people were starving. Like, the problem, you know, a lot of people think, oh, you could have given that money to the poor or right. No. You took that money away from people. You robbed people of that cash. Like, someone went to work and dedicated more than 8 hours sometimes of his personal labor, and instead of feeding his family with that money, he had to give the cash to the government. And the government pissed on it. That's the problem, you know, because most people, they look at this from a leftist lens. And they're like, oh, well, you know, with all this money, we could have feed the poor. We could have fed the homeless. No, it wasn't your fucking money to begin with. You took it from someone and you pissed on it. You gave it to people that are working in the government, just pushing papers. And those are the ones gorging on the taxpayer money. They're the ones gorging on the working class money. A fucking construction worker has to pay for some bureaucrat that only signs papers and puts stamps on them. And he walks on the street like he's some important person with his nose high up. So yeah, like this is the way you should look at it. You shouldn't look at it in a way of like, oh, well, you know, like all of this money could have been used for better. Yeah, the better thing would be to leave it back to the people. So that someone can open a business, expand his business, and make the country prosperous. Instead of like literally robbing them blind. And then printing more money, causing inflation. My fucking god, I know so many friends that I grew up with, which were poor. Myself included, actually. You know, we got a taste of the middle class life. Back in 2019, to early 2020, I could consider myself middle class. But thanks for the inflation, I guess I have to climb the ladder again. And you know, like this is just me, which happens to be in a more happy position. I can't even imagine what it's like to be poor and have the inflation all of a sudden hit you in the head. Look at this shit. Ministry of Environment and Sustainable Development. We're talking about Argentina. They're not China. They do not need this. Sustainable development. How about you fucking develop to begin with? And then you talk about sustainability. Look at this shit, right? The country is starving and they have a Ministry of Women and Gender and Diversity. Even if you resist.
Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación. Afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social. Afuera. Ministerio de Educación. Adoctrinamiento. Ministerio de Educación. Adoctrinamiento. Afuera. Ministerio de Transporte. Afuera. Ministerio de Salud. Afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social. Afuera. Se acabó el curro de la
The thievery is so...
Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
By the way, Alex Alexandru, thank you so much for the donation. This guy can't get any more based. he also spots an Aryan kid. Hold on. Let me show you something else. He manages to find an Aryan child. Here we go. A 10-year-old Aryan boy. Look at it. Is that a 10-year-old Aryan boy? Bring him here. Well, I can't have this song copyrighted. 10-year-old Aryan boy. Why are you shilling for this guy? Because it upsets you. Unironically, this is why everyone is shilling for this guy, because it upsets. You know how when leftists make Marvel movies out of spite, it's like, we're going to add this because we know the public doesn't like it. The Last of Us, the TV show, they actually, if you had the director talking about adding a homosexuality episode, like literally that was the whole episode, which didn't really upset people because it had gayness in it. I mean, it's 2022, like, it's 2023, every single TV show has LGBT in it. It's not even bizarre, like, unless you want to market it to China, and then it may be a little bit weird. But other than that, like, no one cares, right? But, like, the director comes on and says, I know that people don't want to see this, so I have to do what a mother does by hiding the carrot in the brownie. It's this level of disrespect that people have an issue with, right? But it's basically like forcing the public. It's like the BlackRock CEO. We have to instill behaviors. You have to force people. So now the public is upset, right? And I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of people that voted for this guy, not because they like him or believe in his policies or anything like that. They voted for this guy simply out of spite. It's like, enough. Think about it this way. He just got started. It reminds me of Trump. Like in the first couple of weeks, he started doing... But hold on. Let me show you some other things. See, apparently he's also an anime connoisseur. He likes Chainsaw Man and does cosplay. Look at it. He's dressed in the colors of anarcho-capitalism. General ANCAP. Now, again, this is what leftists are saying. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. Right. So let's recap a little bit, because this is something that I find very omoshiroi. Right. So let's talk about mainstream left-leaning policies. Right. Take away your gas stove, tax you to high heaven, print billions of dollars, start foreign wars. Open the borders, allow literally everyone in without any sort of back-checking, without any sort of nothing, right? Do not do anything about crime. In fact, make laws to benefit criminals if possible, right? Like if you shoplift less than $1,000, you don't get arrested. And this is like the moderate leftists. I'm not even going into the extreme radical far left. This is the moderate shit, right? So when you have a guy that says, maybe we should fuck off from the economy. I mean, maybe the government should just have police, military, and infrastructure. Everything else can go fuck itself. Oh my god, that's human stupidity. Oh, like, that is harmful. That is dangerous. How can you do something like this? Are you fucking insane? Are you fucking insane? Like, none of his policies are worse than the moderate left-leaning policies. Again, the mainstream moderate left-leaning policies are so detrimental to your standard of living and your way of life compared to what this guy is doing. Most of the problems that the people I know face with, almost all of them come from the government. This guy wants to fix the problem. Get away with the government. Right? Like, the money that the government collects, he wants it to stop. Collect less of that. You don't need so many bureaucrats. You don't need an army of bureaucrats. For what? I mean, again, look at California, right? High crime. You already have high crime. What the fuck is the government good for then? What is it good for? Like, if you walk out of your house and you see people putting a needle in their arm. Or you have the dog walker of, what was her name? Was a famous musician, Lady Gaga. Yes, the dog walker of Lady Gaga gets shot on the fucking street. What's the purpose of the government again? You know, you have a riot and they're destroying your business. Well, what is the purpose? Why does it exist? To do what? To do what? If you open a store and people shoplift and the police don't do anything, why does the government exist? Justify your existence, government. It can't. There's no reason. And this guy comes on, it's like, well, you know, might as well, like, what's the worst that can happen? "27 agencies, not one worth the money." I will point out this thing, right? Is Argentina going to benefit from this guy? Very hard to tell. Argentina is a small nation, and you do understand that there are international relations and there's like other things. There's probably certain like I do not know the Argentinian constitution, so I can't say if what this guy wants to accomplish can even be accomplished. However, it can't get any worse. It literally can't. The problem is, though, if you happen to work in a government job in Argentina, and that doesn't necessarily mean like being in the government de facto. But if you're in the postal office, if you're a teacher in a public school, if you're any type of person that gets money from the government, you're fucked. Like, you're going to have a very bad time with this guy. But fortunately, there is a possibility of things getting better. Think about it like getting chemo in order to treat cancer. It's a very difficult process. Some may not even make it. Very painful. But hopefully, it's going to be alright. He'll be fine. He said that the United States and Israel are Argentina's strongest allies. Jacob Andrew, thank you for the super chat. Think about it this way. He just got started. I think I already read this super chat, but yeah. He's strongly anti-communist. Romania is a small nation, really. Yeah, which is why I do not really care about Romanian politics that much. Because they're not set internally. Like, if the United States tells Romania to do something, Romania does it. If the European Union tells Romania to do something, Romania does it. So why would I even be concerned about the politics here? I'm more concerned about the politics from the United States and Europe. There is, of course, certain exceptions, like during the pandemic, certain internal legislations and stuff like that were indeed made here in Romania to affect Romanians. But when it comes to like major political moves, yeah, the United States gets to decide. Now, if this guy was the president of the US, oh, then that would have been very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Unfortunately, I do not think that's ever going to happen. Like, the United States is never going to have a president like this. And if you have like a governor that would be like this, you would definitely be sabotaged by the federal government. But yeah, there is a dire shortage of anti-communist thinking. I love the way that I will use this definition, to be honest, collectivists. Like, collectivists being leftists, because you include fascists, you include Nazis, and you include the communists as well. It's any type of ideology, I think even Islamists, like any type of ideology that destroys the concept of the free-thinking man. So the person that should arrive to his own conclusions, that should make up his own mind, that should look at both sides of the issue, any ideology that is against that is collectivist. It's the philosophy of the ant people, right? You have the ant queen and she gives the pheromones and all the workers do what they're supposed to. No one is individual, everyone is the same. That's what collectivism is. So yeah, when you say collectivist, you talk about all of the leftist groups. It's far more accurate. But unfortunately, as I mentioned before, the name collectivist is not a very good one, right? Because people like Mr. Medeker don't understand. Because I remember like having this debate with him on a stream. And when you say individualist, he will say, well, yeah, but like several individuals can make a collective. And I'm like, no, that's not what it means. I didn't make these words. They come from the academia. They're coming from the political sciences. I have no choice in them. The thing is like this. They're both describing groups and different way of thinking. In an individualist society, people are expected to think for themselves, and people are encouraged to seek other like-minded individuals and form groups. So this is the idea, don't like it, don't watch it, right? Like if you have a video game that you don't like, you just don't buy it. If you have a person talking on TV that you don't agree with, you don't watch it. That's an individualist society. A collectivist society is like, no, this is the correct way of thinking, and these are the groups you will join. So if you're a black person, you have to join Black Lives Matter, you have to vote Democrat. Anything else is unacceptable. And when you don't like something, if you don't like a video game, you need to cancel it. You need to get the developers fired. You need to have that video game taken off every platform. That's the difference between collectivism and individualism. And of course, there are it's not an on-off switch, right? There's a dial. Like some countries are more individualistic than others. Germany, for example, is very collectivist in nature. Romania is very individualist in nature. It really depends. Individualism is right-wing, collectivism is left-wing, globalist, fight national... What? There's not a single individualist Western country. Yeah, like, you're not going to get the absolute, right? Like, an absolute... And by the way, like, individualism taken to the extreme is also bad. It's... Imagine a country where, I guess, like, the government has fallen. There is no unifying culture. Kind of like Fallout. Yeah, like Fallout is an example of maximum individualism, where you have, like, various gangs of raiders with different philosophies. And people, like, willingly associate with these gangs. You know, people willingly become a raider, or that they can choose to live in a city, or they can go out and raid. But it's not a functioning society. Basically, like, there's no one on top. It's kind of like anarchy. It's taken to the extreme. It would be, yeah, like the time period before you have, like, I guess in Fallout it would be Caesar or Mr. House centralizing power. So it's like the time of chaos, where everyone does whatever they want. There are no rules, there are no laws, you can do just what... So like, taken to the extreme, like, neither are good. But I do think that as closer you get to individualism without reaching there, it's a lot better than collectivism. The thing is, like, collectivism functions as well. Asian countries have collectivism. So the idea in a collectivist society that's taken to the extreme, you go to places like blood guilt, right? So you're responsible for what your family members are doing. Like if your son does something, like your son goes out and embarrasses himself, that shame goes to you. Like, people are going to judge you for what your son does. If you're the son, you get to be guilty for what your father does, right? Like, if your father embarrasses himself and loses his job, that affects you as well. It's kind of like in the United States, you become a racist for what your dad did. You're treated like a racist. You know, you don't get job opportunities. You have people giving you the cold shoulder. It's not good, chat. It's not good. That's why in a lot of Asian countries, you have a very high number of suicides. It's very difficult to live in such a culture. Like, imagine you're going out and you need to behave yourself in such a manner because you know it reflects not only on yourself, but on your family too. Like in the United States, if you make an ass of yourself, you made an ass on yourself. In Japan, you make an ass of yourself, you make an ass of your entire family. And you can be disinherited because of that. Like, again, the culture functions. I mean, it does make very productive nations. But the question is, would you like to live in such a place? And, you know, like I personally don't. I find it unbearable and unsufferable. I like, the thing is, I hate getting credit for what other people do. Like, I do not like this. It's something that I generally like. If I didn't do it, I do not like getting praise. And at the same time, I do not want to share the burden of guilt of what other people do. Even if they're my friends. Like, I should be able to be friends with someone that I disagree with what they're doing. Like, for example, I don't know. If I was friends with Vosh, like, he was a nice guy and we play Call of Duty together, I don't care about what he says, what he advocates on his channel. You know, that's not something that I condone. That's not something that I would support. I wouldn't go on his live streams to help him do it. But at the same time, like, I do not think that just because, like, someone behaves themselves in a certain way, it should affect friendship with other people. Again, Romania is a lot more collective, more individualistic in this nature. And that's how we actually think. Like, I'm noticing in the United States, like, Mr. Musk posted something of anti-Semitismus. And immediately an army of microphones were at Florida Man. Do you disavow? Do you condemn? But do you agree with what Elon Musk... It's like, what the fuck does that mean? He didn't say it. Go talk to Elon Musk. What the fuck? Why are you going to DeSantis? Like, what? Yeah, friends with Dev. I guess that would be a better example. I genuinely, like, do not care what Dev says on his channel. I know, like, a lot of people are upset. I don't give a shit. You know, it's like, if Dev wants to support certain things on his channel, go support them. I may agree or disagree with them. I may agree with some, disagree with others. Basically individualist edging, but not cooming. Oh, that is a really nice way of putting it, yes. National Socialist Germany had a capitalist economy. It actually had an economy closer to China. It's not really capitalist, but it's not communist either. The way it works, right? So theoretically, in a capitalist economy, you get to have your business, and you get to set whatever price you want. You get to sell the product. You get to hire whomever. Like that's capitalism, right? Like, it's freedom to have your property and to do almost everything you want with it. In Germany, that wasn't the system. Like, there were many Germans that went to the United States, and they were shocked to see the chaos in the US economy. So in Germany, much like China, you can have your own business. This is something that you can't have under socialism. So in the Soviet Union, you couldn't have your own business. But in Germany, you could. And you could hire whomever you want, and you could set the prices and do whatever. But the government could directly interfere in your business. And that is something that the capitalist society doesn't do, right? So, like, let's assume you create your business like OpenAI. And this is why, like, America is moving closer to Nazi Germany's way of doing business and having the economy, moving closer to China, rather than being capitalistic. Because they're actually doing this with OpenAI. So you have a product, right? Like you're inventing a new technology. You're coming to the market. It's a very useful technology. It's like you're making AI. And then the government realizes, hold on a little bit, this is actually good. And then they take over your company. They don't actually take it over, but they can anoint someone. They appoint someone from the government, and now they dictate to you what your AI is allowed and isn't allowed to do, what it should censor, what it should allow, what it should promote, the type of people you're allowed to hire in your company, the wages you can pay, how much you can sell it for. It's not corporatism, because it can do this to almost anyone. It can do it to the farmers. Like someone from the government can come into your farm. You're not part of a corporation. You're just a farmer. But someone from the government can come over to your farm and they will say, you're not going to plant this year. You're going to plant something else. Or you're not going to plant anything at all this year. Here's money from the government so you don't starve. Or they can say, we're going to shut your business for 1 year. Here's some money so you don't starve, like they did during the pandemic. Right? Like normally, you can have your farm and you can do business as much as you want. They don't care. But at any point, they can decide that, no, we're actually going to care this year, so this is what you're going to do. That's what the mafia used to do. The market of ideas versus your point to defend. Heavily restricted capitalism, so socialism. No. So in socialism, there is no such thing as owning your property. In socialism, you work for the government. So you don't get to build your Starbucks. You don't get to... For instance, right, in socialism, let's say that the Soviet Union would exist today. I wouldn't be able to be a streamer. Like, I wouldn't be able to open my YouTube channel and start streaming. What would happen is that the government would allocate a number of streaming positions. So the government would say, okay, we want 1,000 streamers this year, right? So they open the jobs for 1,000 streamers. And then people apply to the government, and you get a license, and you get to have your stream. But if someone else would want to, like let's say I would want to open a YouTube account without the license, I wouldn't be able to. Like the website wouldn't allow me to upload. That's the difference. Now, if you look at it from a National Socialist way of doing the economy, it would be, I am allowed to open a YouTube channel and I can do whatever I want on it until the government steps in. And the government can be, okay, V, we're under a pandemic now, so we require you to make 10 videos encouraging people to vaccinate. And if I don't do it, they shut my channel. That's the difference. I mean, I view them as two separate ways of handling an economy. You can't, I mean, sure, you know, they're both not capitalistic, but they are significantly different from one another in order to justify a classification. If there was an Australian version of Miguel Guy, I'd vote for him purely out of spite. Yeah, a lot of people voted out of spite. Many people do not realize that in Argentina, the left has had free reign for, I think it's more than a decade now. And the economy just keeps going worse. Inflation is, I think, at 110%. It's ridiculous. You don't get inflation unless you print money. Like that is malice. That is evil. Inflation is another tax on the people. So I genuinely think like this guy is going to have it very difficult to make it worse than it already is. Again, like think about it this way. You have a neighborhood that's controlled by the mafia. So you have to pay protection tax to the mafia. You gotta, pay your respects to the Don. And the mafia also does certain things, like maybe it helps a couple of kids go to school, and it feeds some homeless, gets rid of some riffraff from the streets. But like one day, the new Don says, okay, we're going to have less mafia members. And people are panicking. It's like, well, we can't live without the mafia. I mean, they've always been there. They always took care of us. I was like, no, you took care of yourselves. You pay the taxes. Now, I'm not an anarcho-capitalist, okay? I do not believe that you can have a functioning society without someone paying for the roads, without someone paying for the military, without someone paying for the cops. I do not believe in a private police force. There is no justification why a private cop should enter my house. He has no jurisdiction to enter my property under any circumstance, nor does he have any jurisdiction to ask me any questions. It's like if he's a private cop that was hired by someone, he has no right to ask me anything. Or stop me on the street. Right? Like I do not believe in the concept of a private police force. And you know, it's also the jurisdiction question. It's like, how does private policing do jurisdictions? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And then, actually, there's a lot more problems. Like, for instance, radio waves, from my understanding. Or commercial flights. You know, like different commercial flights, they fly at different altitude. Some attitudes probably are more favorable than others. Like you can catch a wind that pushes your plane faster and you reach the destination a little bit earlier. Who gets to decide like what altitude you get and what? It's the same thing with the radio waves. Like you pay for the radio waves. You can't have like two television broadcasting on the same signal. There are many reasons why you need some form of government. But there is a difference between having the welfare we have now and just having like the minimum necessary. Yes, in the 20th century, a lot of these things existed without without all of the regulations and all of the shit that we have now. Yeah, he said he's going to reduce the state to its minimum, not going to eliminate it. It would be interesting if he can. I mean, just because he's a president doesn't mean that he's a dictator. So I do not know what the Constitution says. There may be limits to what he can and can't do. But if he genuinely tries to do that, would be interesting. There is a problem, though, with doing this. And Donald Trump also didn't do it properly. You're not supposed to... I mean, most people that try to do it properly, to just... get rid of the government, they end up failing. What does work, however, is replacing the government with your people. But this also leads to corruption. So, I don't know. We'll see. Historically speaking, it's usually a massive conflict, like a war that actually changes things. But hopefully, this may not be the case, that we may actually see one of the rare occasions where a person actually peacefully manages to change something by giving liberty rather than taking it. So for those of you who have been a little bit late to the stream, I want to play this again. I want to show you the Argentinian president so that you can know why people are so opinionated on this.
Mierda, no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
Can you define it? But can he define it, chat? Can he define it? This is like the question that you always run onto when you're arguing with the leftists. Can you define it? Apparently he can.
Todos los que, digamos, los colectivistas, los que ponen, digamos, o sea, esa idea... A ver,
¿Por qué le pones de mierda, digamos?
porque son una mierda. O sea,
si,
no, pero es que si pensás distinto te van a aniquilar. Ese es el punto. Es decir, vos al zurdo no le podés dar un milímetro, porque le das un milímetro y lo tomas para destrozarte. Es decir, digo, o sea, vos no podés negociar con el zurdo. No se negocia. No se negocia con esa mierda, no se negocia porque te van a llevar puesto. Y como estamos siendo tan mejores que ellos, como los estamos aplastando en la batalla cultural, los estamos pasando de arriba, porque no solo le ganamos en lo productivo, somos superiores moralmente, somos superiores estéticamente, somos mejores en todo. Y les duele, les duele. No pueden pelear con las herramientas legítimas. Se apalancan en el aparato represivo del Estado, poniendo torres de guita para hacernos mierda, y aún así no pueden, tuvieron que bajar la nota, están perdiendo, están desesperados, están perdiendo la batalla cultural, los zurdos de mierda.
He does that thing with the eyebrows, like that serial killer Bundy. I think was like that. Bundy's the mierda. It triggers them. By the way, the memes already started happening. Apparently, he likes Chainsaw Man. People saw him with the Chainsaw Man action figure. So, viva la libertad, carajo! Not to mention, I have seen a couple of things with him. I believe he's getting the election results or something. And people are like, no, he was like, liberty is coming, leftists! You should be afraid. I was like, oh, and by the way, people are crying. I genuinely think, unlike when what was his name, Kim Jong Il, the father of Kim Jong Un, yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. Hold on. This is him. Viva la libertad! Ay carajo! So we got Meloni-chan from Italy. We got this individual. I wonder if Trump likes anime. He probably doesn't. Someone needs to show anime to Trump. Hold on. There's more. There were people pissing their eyes when he got declared as the winning president. I just need to find it. And of course, there's two women crying. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have it. But we can watch this one again. Like this is my favorite. I wonder like how many more of them there are. Like if there was a show where this guy was doing comedy, oh my god, like it would be on top of Netflix. Like if Netflix puts this guy on, he would be funnier than Dave Chappelle. He would be the most viewed stuff on the entire... No, actually, you know what? Every single movie on Netflix put together wouldn't have the number of views like this guy. Look at this. He doesn't like the ESG, chat. I don't think he likes the ESG.
Aunque te resista. Innovación. Afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social. Afuera. Ministerio de Educación. Adoctrinamiento. Empleo y Seguridad Social. Afuera. Ministerio de Educación. Adoctrinamiento. Afuera. Ministerio de Transporte. Afuera. Ministerio de Salud. Afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social, afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
His hair is perfect, yeah. Oh, hold on. There's another one that someone from Argentina just gave to me. Let's watch this as well.
¿Contra quién van? Contra los liberales, porque los liberales somos los únicos que le enrostramos a los políticos que ellos no son la solución, que ellos son el problema. Los políticos son una suerte de... patas que quieren hacernos creer que nosotros somos inválidos mentales inválidos en todo sentido, porque no podemos vivir si no fuera por ellos.
I mean, literally, this is why people on Twitter are saying, oh my god, how can you get rid of the Ministry of Sustainable Development? How is Argentina going to develop now? I don't know, like, how did people develop in the past without the ministry?
En realidad, los que no pueden vivir sin son ellos. Es decir, si el país se separara entre los que producimos de un lado y del otro lado, queda la mierda de los
Fucking politicians.
con los sindicalistas. Todo este conjunto de parásitos se hunden, se mueren. Separemos la Argentina, en Argentina del Norte y Argentina del Sur. ¿Sabes qué? Los que estamos dispuestos a laburar nos vamos a la parte más pobre del país. Le dejamos
Those of us who want to work go to the poorest part of the country.
muertos. Aun cuando se quedaran con todo, se van a un...
Oh my god.
Los que laburamos y sabemos ganarnos la vida. ¿Sabes qué? Nos va a ir bien. Nosotros...
Look how angry he is. He knows. He fucking knows.
¿Qué nos va a ir bien? Nosotros somos gente de bien, gente que labura y no vivimos abogando por la envidia, el odio, el resentimiento, el robo, sí, el trato desigual frente a la ley, que es esa inmundicia de la justicia social, que es lo más injusto que existe, porque implica robarle a una persona el fruto de su trabajo para dárselo a quien a mí se me da la gana. Pero ¿de dónde salieron esta manga de sátrapa? ¿Sabes por qué? Porque además en todo ese proceso, no solo que destruyeron la economía, empobrecieron a la gente, sí, desde el año 70 hasta ahora el Estado se triplicó, multiplicaron por 6 el número de pobres, ¿sí? ¿Y sabes quiénes fueron los únicos que progresaron acá? Los políticos. Entonces, ¿saben qué? Quieren, digamos, quedarse en este país, ¿saben qué? Tienen que identificar el enemigo son los políticos, hay que ir contra los políticos. Ellos son nuestros enemigos, ellos son los que nos hunden en la pobreza, ellos son los únicos que progresaron con este verso de la justicia social y la redistribución del ingreso. La verdadera redistribución del ingreso fue desde los que laburamos
Holy shit.
políticos. A ver, digamos, ¿por qué nació el liberalismo? Para salir del yugo opresor de los monarcas. Digamos, esta casta que tenemos son como los monarcas, y ni siquiera se autoheredan. Son los mismos que estaban en el 2001. No se fue ninguno, estos chorros se quedaron
Uh-oh, he's talking about the career politicians.
todos. Y hay más, porque además se multiplican, porque tenés que agregar la parentela, sí, porque además tenés que agregar la amante, porque tenés que agregar la familia del amante.
That is actually a very astute observation. Like, a lot of governments do this, right? So you get in a position of government, and you have, let's say you're the mayor of a small town, right? Like you notice this at a small scale if you follow politics. So you're the mayor of a small town, and now you're getting paid by the public to be the mayor, right? So you're not producing anything. You're just taking money from the people, and you're redistributing it. And then the mayor goes like, well, I have a wife. Can I not find a job for her? I have a daughter. Can I not find a job for her as well to guarantee her future? And then they start opening more and more positions. It's like, okay, well, I need a secretary. Oh, it just so happens that it's going to be my daughter, and she gets to be paid by the taxpayer money. Even if he can still manage his phone calls just fine without a secretary because it's a small town. But now you have another job, right? Now you have like someone else that just sits there and gets paid. Maybe they don't even show up to work. It's just like it figures on paper that they're hired. And like this is what I'm talking about, the small town where you don't have that much money. Now imagine when you're at the top, you're like at the government. Like for example in the EU, every single MP has got I think like last time I checked it was like $4,000 a month just to hire aides, right? So people that can help him and shit. And it's like, this is the example of what I'm talking about. Like literally the MP, if he wants, he can just not do anything, just go there and vote according to how his helpers have told him to vote. It is disgusting. And the fact that the left don't even talk about the politicians, they never talk about the spending. They always talk about, oh, we need more taxes, more taxes, more taxes. Take more money from people, more. But they never talk about like what happens with the money after they're being taken. Or the daughter gets the contract for the Office of Interior Decoration. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is another thing that they do. It's like, okay, so with the money that they get from being into politics, they give it to their family. And it's like, right, well, open a company that does interior design. And magically, it happens that the office requires renovation. So now you're like, okay, well, we need to refurbish. We need to hire a company that does interior design. Oh, it just so happens that the daughter won the auction. And she gets taxpayer money down her way. Nepotism is only bad if your family member is incompetent. But no, nepotism is bad because even if your family member is competent, there may be another person that's more competent, and you're not going to give the job to them because they're not part of the family. And not to mention, I do not want my taxpayer money to fund dynasties. Is that a problem? Like, I genuinely do not want my taxpayer money to go to the daughter of the mayor, to go to the son of the mayor, to go... No, like, I want my taxpayer money to go where it actually should go, which is to the most competent people and the ones that were elected. Where was the outrage when Gavin got rid of the homeless? Well, there was outrage. There was, but Gavin Newsom is the Sigma male, and he doesn't give a fuck. And the people that were concerned trolling, that was it. The thing is, the left does this all the fucking time. They have no shame. Like even when you catch a leftist genuinely doing something that's despicable, they don't care. I mean, perfect example was when Nancy Pelosi was caught doing her hair during the pandemic. Like, other people had to stay at home and stay safe. They couldn't leave their house because if they did, they would get a fine or they had their businesses shut down, right? Nancy Pelosi goes and does her hair. Does she care? No, she doesn't give a fuck. Why should she? Why should she care? There's no reason. And then you also have that lady from, what was it? Beetlejuice. I forgot where she's from. But same thing, she does her hair. And then she has the balls to say to the television, well, I'm an important person, so I should, it's not reasonable for me not to have my hair done. Like, what more can you say? What more can you add? If these are the arguments coming from people that do despicable things. Nepotism is bad because it kills competition and breeds corruption. Well, yeah, that's one of the things. Chicago, yes. Like the only things that the government is expected to do, like the bare minimum, would be to solve the crime rates. Like, no one wants to go outside and be afraid to walk on the street. No one wants to go outside and be mugged. No one wants to open a business and have people break into. But even that, man, like even that is not being taken care of. What's his name? The Never Trumper guy, comedian, whatever. Even he comes up and is like, yeah, I think like voting for Donald Trump is on the table. Although I do believe that left, the Democrats actually, they want to get rid of Joe Biden. I do genuinely think that they either want Gavin Newsom or they want Michelle Obama. Like I will not be surprised. Mark my words. There is no way in hell you're going to get Joe Biden on the next election. I will eat crow. It's possible that I'm wrong. It is possible that you're going to have Joe Biden, but it's incredibly unlikely. I do not think you're going to get Joe Biden on the runner-up for the Democrats' next election. Yeah, rap aboard. I am late, but someone told me that the other candidate that the actual economy minister asked for leave license just after the election. I wouldn't surprise me. They talk in the open, they want Joe gone. Yeah, I do think Joe is going to... there's several reasons for it. Number one, the world conflict. Like, situations around the world aren't very good, right? You have the thing with China, that's with Taiwan, doesn't work really well. You have the situation with Ukraine. You have the situation with Israel. You need a strong leader. Like, you cannot have Sleepy Joe in office. Secondly, and this is probably the worst, He doesn't do well in most polls. Like in most polls, Donald Trump overtakes Joe Biden. So I do not think that you're going to have Joe Biden on the voting booth. Anyway, wow, so many people. Was it the topic that got you guys, or is it just that I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons and a lot of people were remembering? Oh, V has a channel. I thank you for coming. I hope I managed to entertain you. Hopefully you guys will come tomorrow as well. I haven't had 400 viewers in ages, actually. Was YouTube shilling my channel? Would be interesting. I think we're going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow, because Arch can't make it on Thursday. So it's going to be on the Archcast tomorrow. Maybe it's the hour. I will try the hour. No, I can't keep going because I do need to make my videos on my other channels, and then I need to talk about my video game. It is what it is. But hopefully you guys got entertained, and yeah, I'll upload stuff on my other channels in a bit. And hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care.